So, hello, Mrs. Tanou. We would like to thank you, Mrs. Tanou. We would like to thank you for this opportunity that you give us to have an interview with you. So, I would like to ask you some questions regarding your enterprise and your personal life and how you balance between the two. But let's begin by introducing yourself and your business activity.
Okay, thank you very much for this interview. My name is Elena Tanou. I'm 54 years old. I run the business in the travel industry from the age of 25, having my own organization. I studied travel and tourism management back in Switzerland in 1980, and then I worked in England for 6 years. I returned to Cyprus in 1987, and then I set up my own office in the travel industry, so-called Elena Tanou Travel Enterprises in those days. In the year 2000, when it was the boom of the Cyprus Stock Exchange, I joined forces together with the other 9 travel agents. And we set up the biggest organization in Cyprus as tour operating, incoming, outgoing travel, cruising, representation of aviation, online, conference management, and many other services in the travel industry. Today, Top Guinness Travel, which is listed in the Cyprus Stock Exchange, is the biggest tour operator with many, many representations. I'm the vice president of the company since 2000. What I enjoy mostly is the fact that we are always ascending. We're doing many, many more things and doing innovative services in the travel industry.
Interesting, really interesting. So you already mentioned how and when did you decide to start your own business. If you have anything to add on that, or we can proceed if you wish. Okay.
Yes.
So what were the greatest difficulties you found in the process, let's say?
Okay, coming back from England, when I worked for 6 years in the travel industry, I had the experience. After my studies, the experience was an essential tool. But the biggest difficulty it was to penetrate in the Cyprus travel industry. There were at the time 450 travel agencies, and I was an unknown person, 25 years old. It wasn't a company that I inherited from my parents and somebody knew, and we were only 800,000 people in Cyprus. Of course, it was the boom of the traveling at the time as well. People started traveling more often, and being on an island, people tend to travel more. So I had to find the niche of what was existing at the time. And after a big survey that I did, I could see there was no travel agent that knew very, very well the faraway destinations like Africa, Latin America, Alaska, China. Therefore, I set up Elena Tanou Travel Enterprises, and the first trip I introduced to my clients at the time, and that was to incentive travelers, was South Africa. And then it was Alaska and China and other destinations, which I knew very, very well because I was traveling extensively when I was young with my parents as well. So that was a niche in the market in those days, and I was established in the market, I would say, quite easily. Of course, I had to be very, very disciplined. I had to be very precise and prompt, and I worked with integrity in order to be entrusted in the Cyprus market to have results. Today, all these people that they were traveling for the last almost 30 years, they're still traveling with us as Top Guinness is now, and there are some groups that I even have to escort some days because they don't travel unless I'm with them. I enjoy it extensively, and I feel that yes, I'm dedicated to what I'm doing. I do it with a lot of passion. I love it, and it seems that people, once you show them that you're really honest and you work really with the love of what you're doing, they will really trust you and really work with you long term.
So, would you like to tell us to give us some information on how do you manage your business? As of course, as we live in Cyprus, being a woman and being a professional and in the business market, how did you manage to get this?
To be honest, I didn't find, let's say, hardship or handicaps because I was a woman. I was very, very strict professional from day one. From the age of 25 when I arrived in Cyprus, I was really, really with the experience in UK, which I mean, the way you travel in UK, I mean, it's a science traveling. So I brought this attitude in my deliberations with my clients, and I think till today some of these attributes exist, and I carry on with the same way. Now, how I manage today, because today we're a much bigger organization. We are about 85 people here. We have so many different fields of services that we run. But I think my, let's say, big issues are the hard work, which, I mean, nothing can be achieved without hard work, and that means many, many hours, and Christmas and New Year and Easter and day and night, and that's it doesn't end. I enjoy a lot when we do the brainstorming meetings with the staff in different levels, and that helps. We have many creative discussions that, being in the travel industry, you need to be really creative and to bring niche issues to the customers. I feel that I bind the team well. I inspire them, and that I enjoy because I'm a global citizen. I travel extensively myself. Only last year I did 52 trips, short or long, and that really is inspirational. At the end of the day, I recognize myself as a strong leader within my team and outside, because I'm active in other fields as well. I'm a good listener when we have these meetings. I feel that I always motivate and empower the talented young people, especially, which I think it's really fantastic of the energy they have, and they bring me back some of my energy too. And very vital thing for me that worked out right through the years is the great big network that I built, and that goes in Cyprus, it goes to Europe, it goes internationally, and it helps me enormously with my collaborators, my clients, my contacts, and my family.
So, thank you for the interesting information. How do you balance work, personal life, and family, which is the hot topic of the era, let's say?
I'm very disciplined. I never, let's say, exceed. If I have a meeting that I know that it should be for an hour, I would not just waste time to do it an hour and 15 minutes. I'm very effective with what I'm doing, and I plan very, very well how this project should be run, and I want results. I'm very practical, I'm very decisive. Being a leader also, that makes you, let's say, take decisions really fast if they have to be taken fast and easy. And I'm also a team player. I don't take all on me. I like to give work and devote my time, let's say, to the difficult parts, and being probably sometimes they want to take the hardship to solve problems and give solutions. But I'm a team player.
You're a team player.
Now, regarding the personal life, I choose to do a few things that I like very much, like the theater, the concerts, musical events, I do it extensively. Personal exercise, I do 3 times a week. Wherever I am, I like to have exercising. And my family gives me a lot of energy, especially my 2 sons. Although they are not in Cyprus now, they are students abroad. They're very also disciplined and very hardworking. So they give me such a joy and happiness that really that energizes me because of their success.
So how did you manage your personal life, let's say, when they were younger? Okay, now they are students, but back then they were children and you had to take care of them. Mm-hmm. And it's...
thank God there is this model in Cyprus that grandmothers exist. Yeah. That was very, very useful at the time, because when they were really young, yes, I couldn't really travel so extensively because I had to be around. But my mom took care of them, and I was really with peace of mind to concentrate at my work because my mom was better mother than me. Also, I have hired services. I had help at home, and I chose to do things that probably they were in my priority, more important to do with the children, with their upbringing, and then I could let things that they could be done by others, and they were not so important if I wasn't doing them. So it was prioritizing issues, I would say. Okay. But also I chose to do things that I liked. And thank God I had this luxury. And that helped me having the peace of mind and the good state of mind to really develop myself into things that I wanted to do, and to develop my children as well to be, I would say, good examples too.
Thank you. And so would you like to give some advice to other women, like future women entrepreneurs that would like to set up their own business and to join?
Definitely. And thank you for this question, because I'm doing mentoring to 7 young entrepreneurs. And I enjoy it extensively because the debate we run, it's always useful to both parties. But the advice that I give always is, apart from the hard work that goes without saying, is first of all that you should know very, very well of the item you're going to deal with. For example, my studies were very relevant with what I did later on, so I knew, let's say, my work very, very well. So you need to know well what you're going to do, and if you don't know it, you have to really research for it. Second thing is to be fully in control of things. You should be really sure, and you study well how your next steps will be. You need to be very creative. Think out of the box. Be the person that you will probably sometimes not all the options that you're bringing on table will work out, but be creative, and then you have more choices to choose from. Transact business always with integrity and honesty, and always long term you will be the one to succeed. If you try to do things fast and probably not with the most honest way, there will be a trap, and that will create more problems, and then you will be, I think, not in the balance that we stated before and fully in control. And finally, I would say, brand yourself. Say what you're doing. Be upfront of what you like to do. Describe your work. And I will give you a small example of how you brand yourself. Always when they ask me, how are you? Definitely I will say, thank you, I'm brilliant, I'm very well, because I just returned from Vietnam 2 days ago. So I brand myself in a different way. I really put my identity there of what I'm doing. Okay, and then people will be asking you if they don't know, or therefore you find nice ways with modesty in order to say things about you that people will really be interested to ask more, and then they will be useful later on for what you want to really support, sell, or make known.
Thank you for the great advice. So we would like to thank you for this great interview.
Pleasure. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you.